first of all, this was a piece of land I got from my buddy home in Shelton years ago in 2016. And I started with it by rejuvenating it with the lasagna method. And so now this is the first fall I've been able to plant into the ground, right? When I first got it from Mr. Shelton, I came out and there was grass. So the grass was cut and I thought, okay, I can sow some greens out there. So it's fall, it's like fall of the year. I sowed some greens and kept looking for greens to come up. As I was walking the yard, Mr. Shelton was still living in the house next door. He moved here and traded house with his son so I could get this property. So he said, Marshall, he said, that's rocky out there, man. So that's why my greens weren't coming up. I started building this bed back during the pandemic because everybody was so depressed. I was like, let me put something out here to make people smile. So I've had mums out here this summer. I had sunflowers, and then this is lemon balm, which it doesn't go anywhere. And I've got some rosemary over here. But then when you look here, let's see, this is a rock right here. So this thing is on a rock.
Wow.
Yeah. So lasagna method, I always tell people I didn't know what it was called initially. I just knew what worked. Rocks hold moisture, you just can't grow seeds in the rock, right? So by me coming along and adding a lot of wood mulch and cardboard with the lasagna method, I've been able to increase the organic growing material. So now I've got areas out here that are almost a foot, some areas 2 feet deep, right? So I can plant in my garden now. I knew I had to cover the grass, and so I used cardboard. I would just scavenge cardboard at different stores, and the Murfreesboro Mulch Facility gives away wood mulch all year long. So I would just take my truck there, they would dump a load in. I've hauled in now between 450 and 500 tons of wood mulch over the past 6 years. But I just kept on working on it because I knew once I got it to a certain level here, I could plant it and it would hold moisture. And again, the goal is to build a sustainable farm that won't cost me money in the future. The people out here have seen me working in this garden for years. They'll stop by and tell me, I remember when you had one row of tomatoes out here, and now I've got this, right? This is like the third layer of lasagna method on this roadside. So I had cardboard, then wood mulch, burlap, wood mulch, and then I'm putting another layer of burlap. This is the third time I'm doing this. This is I'll go down through here with the wood chips, and we'll have that taken care of. And the goal is for this to be an entire flower bed next year. All right. So this is the coffee chaff, and see it's wet, but then we got coffee grounds in here. And if you stick your hand right here, it's hot, really hot. That's been there for almost a month, over a month and a half, so something like that.
That is warm.
Yeah.
Smells good too.
Yeah. So that's something I learned. I was like, if it'll keep that hot under there, and as I get more coffee grounds, I'll just keep putting it in the rows and covering it up, and it'll keep the heat in here. Because when I put the row covers over it, it was like a little greenhouse before last year because I had the pots in here. I put the mulch around it to hold the moisture and also create heat. It'll be even better with the coffee grounds. So that's another one through experience, right? And as you're building something like this, you understand it a lot better than you would if you would just come out here and throw out fertilizer and chemicals and get a crop that same year. As you build it, you start to see the layers, and then you're able to look at different parts of the garden. Like I know in one section of the garden, this is on a slope, so I've got a lot of drainage, right? And because it stayed so moist there, all the compost, all the wood mulch I put there has decomposed a lot quicker. And I'm able to do things like, say if I want, like I've got an asparagus bed back here. I wanted asparagus, so all I had to do is clear a spot, sow the seed, and leave it alone. It's fertile, it's moist, so I've got enough asparagus to plant, I don't know, probably 10, 100-foot rows now. And I wouldn't have that available if I didn't pay attention to the soil. And there are areas in the garden that I haven't watered. I've stopped harvesting the tomato plants, but the grass in that area is still green because it's not dry, right? Still got a lot of moisture retention there, even without as much coffee chaff, but I'm adding more coffee chaff this year. So by the spring, I'm hoping to reduce my water bill even more. Like last year, this time my water bill was about $200. It was $52 this past month. So that's what I'm working on.
Yeah.
See, like this, see the underground cover crop, the roots, but then you go like here, this is like 2 years of wood mulch.
Yeah.
So you've got all these grass roots in here holding all the soil and organic material in place. The roots are still there, and it's okay because there's plenty of room.
It really shows you how thick that layer is too,
Mm-hmm,
you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is about 2 feet deep right here. And like I said, the roots are still alive. And they, you know, they'll be covered up even more this winter, so I'll put some more wood mulch there. But yeah, I'm really proud of this because, like I said before, it was just, you know, nothing but rock here. As I increase the organic material in the soil, it's less physical work on my part. Because if you have to dig into the rocky soil, it's a lot of work. I can just stick my hand in the soil, move it around, and put the plant in the ground. I don't have to dig, right? So, and then when you look, long-term effect is always, to me, economics, right? And in building something like this from a sustainable mindset, it's going to be much more eco-friendly because you don't have to put the chemicals in the ground. I don't use any pesticides or herbicides out here. You don't have to buy the fertilizer eventually because then your soil is fertile enough. There's so many things you can learn if you take your time and do it right. You know, it seems mundane, but you sleep a lot better because you have a lot less to worry about. If we protect everything that we're given and not try and remove and add what we want, it just work with the environment you have. That's another way to protect our natural resources.